So, why the new federation? Why not stick to the UKBFF? I mean, did you feel there was a need for a change? Okay, we are live. So, welcome back to episode 22 of the Fantom Podcast, and as always, with Big Joe. Welcome back.
How we doing, guys?
Big Zach, how you doing?
Hello, guys.
And tonight we have a very special guest. We have Helen O'Reilly. Some of you may know as Helen Panther from Gladiator.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It's lovely to see you all.
So we're going to have a different theme tonight. Obviously, we talk about general bodybuilding, mainly in the USA, but we're going to talk about bodybuilding on our British soil. With there's a new federation that's started this week, and we thought we'd just get the lowdown with Helen, as she's one of the people involved. So let's give a bit of a background story so people know who you are and know what your involvement in the sport, etc.
Right. So obviously I've been into bodybuilding for quite a long time, 30 odd years. Started out as a competitor with NABA. I'm from the Northeast, and NABA was sort of there. You could only compete in your area. So I competed in the Northeast a few times, won a few shows, and got spotted as a possibility to be a gladiator on TV. Went along and did that for quite a few years. On the side of that, I run a gym and do online coaching and stuff like that. And a way to keep inside the bodybuilding arena without competing, I decided to start judging. And it was when bikini first came to the UK. So I was asked whether you think it's sexist or not, that we're going to have a female-only judging panel. And I was asked to come along and judge that, and I did it.
That was 2010, wasn't it?
It was a long time ago, yeah.
Yes.
It was at Scott Houghton's show in Colchester, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, because I remember the first UKBFF bikini class where they came on. I think everyone at the time thought it was a bit of a joke.
It was terrible the way, I mean, the way it was received initially. Even people within the judging circle, they will laugh and say, oh, do they really lift? All you have to do is put a bikini on. Do they really go to the gym? They don't have to diet. They're just skinny girls. And I'm like, do they realize how much effort the girls have to put into? They're not great big muscly guys, but they put the same sort of time into
they take it seriously, don't they?
Time into their nutrition, but it wasn't really accepted initially. So it was poo-pooed, especially amongst the bodybuilding judges. So maybe they did do the right thing by bringing females in to judge.
Did it come about at the same time as the men's physique? Was it before the men's physique?
The men's physique was, that was afterwards, I think. The men's physique. But I mean, that got slated, and look at that now.
Yeah.
And, people don't want to give something new a chance.
They don't like change, do they? They don't like change.
It turned the shows around, didn't it? It brought fitness into the public arena, and more people from the gyms thought, you know what, that's achievable. I can do that. So they came out in the droves to do bikini and men's physique, and then it just gets to the next level and the next level. It has to start somewhere, doesn't it?
Yeah, I remember when there was a bit of a lull in the bodybuilding scene for a couple of years. It was just all the shows were quiet, they were flat, wasn't they? And it was just the same faces competing, and I think obviously it brought in a lot of fresh faces, a lot of new people to the industry and to the gyms as well, which was great for us gym owners.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It looks like an achievable thing to do, but it's still extremely hard. They're still training and living, sleeping, breathing bodybuilding. Just because the females or, men's physique and shorts where everybody said, oh, they don't train their legs. I mean, you coach people. I've seen one of your guys on stage at Bilston, and they've got fantastic physiques.
Daniel, who do you coach with fucking bikini on? So what guy?
What do you like to know?
Coach people, don't you? Coach wellness.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the guys that do train legs, I mean, I know we take the piss, but a lot of them do train legs. So it's just the way they have the shorts in it. I mean, it's not their fault. They can't show them off.
Everybody, if you prefer to do that as opposed to wearing a pair of trunks, or if you prefer to keep it classic physique, doing your vacuums, or be a big bodybuilder like yourself and Zach.
But
Isn't
a
it?
lot of people use men's physique as a platform to do the other classes. If you notice.
Well, it's a taster, isn't it? It gets
Yeah.
you into it. And we always say, I suppose it's a bit like when you get a tattoo. People say once you get one tattoo, you get addicted to it.
Because
And I'll
if you're a
say,
men's physique,
if
you still have
I'm
to
gonna
prep.
spend
You
a
still
lot
have
of
to,
money on a bikini.
yeah.
I'll say, don't spend a lot of money because you might not like it. You're either gonna hate it the first time and never do it again, or you're going to be addicted and you're going to want to get better and you're going to want to go to the next show. And the majority of people do tend to stick to it, don't they?
Either way, if you prep for like a men's physique or bodybuilding, the prep's all the same, isn't it? Regardless of what class you're doing.
I think
you're depriving yourself pretty much of a social life, and you're depriving yourself of food that you would genuinely want to eat. And it's a certain type of person that will do that. So that's why everybody in the circle get along, because everybody understands what they're going through. And it's your personal choice, isn't it? You don't have to deprive yourself, but if you want to look that particular way for a short length of time, you have to go through that process.
Yeah, exactly. The bikini has evolved a lot now, and the men's physique has, and they're a lot bigger than what they were from before. Everything, and it's grown a lot more as well, because as you can see when you look at the Olympia, men's physique and women bikini is the biggest numbers and the biggest, the amount of competitors competing in them classes. So it's crazy. So
and as Simon said, they can go up a category. If you're bikini and you enjoy training and you have good nutrition, it's obvious you're going to put a bit more muscle on if you're training harder. So you're going to maybe push yourself out of the category. So therefore, there's another category that you can do, maybe wellness or body fitness, so you can continue to go up. Some people say, "Oh, I don't want to go out of bikini," or "I don't want to do women's physique." That's absolutely fine. That's your preference. You have to tailor your training, your diet to the criteria that is written down for the judges to judge.
Yeah, I think the problem you've got is a lot of people, they're forcing themselves to be in a class where they don't fit structurally.
Yeah.
And that's a situation. Just because you can do a vacuum doesn't mean you're classic. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? So, and it's the same way. There's some girls and they're really big boned and they don't fit. They don't
light.
A lot of the bikini girls are tiny. You know what I mean? So you're going to struggle to compete against the more petite little girls. So
it's really difficult, because when you see a fantastic physique in a particular category, it happened again in, I think, Bilston. There was 2 wellness girls on stage. One fit the criteria and the other one looked absolutely phenomenal, but she was ripped, she was big, and she didn't fit that category. And then she asked for a critique afterwards because she became second and she couldn't, she couldn't understand it. And when it was explained to her, she said, "Thank you very much for the explanation." And then she went off to, I think it was 2 bros, and she got second place there, higher up. There was a lot more people in the category, but she fit that particular criteria. It didn't mean because she was second or last, so to speak, that she had a bad physique. She had a phenomenal physique. She just didn't fit the criteria.
Yeah, but don't you think it's a bit hard on bikini girls compared to bodybuilding? In bodybuilding classes, we look at the guy who's the biggest, most proportioned, and basically it's easy to judge. But with bikini girls, it's hard. It's like half of the time, man, the girl wants one. You go, "Oh yeah, you have to be hard, but not too hard. You have to have glutes, but not too big glutes. You have to have lines, but not too much line. You gotta have stage presence. You gotta have this, but not too much of this." And it's everything coaches are telling these girls, and it's confusing them. There is no single way to say it.
And also every federation, they got a different look for bikini as well, don't they?
Yeah, like I asked one judge. I'm not naming no names. I said to him, "How do you pick the winner?" He goes, "Which one do you want to sleep with?"
Well, maybe that's why we should stick to a proper judging panel. No, you know what? At the end of the day, I understand what you're saying. I see where you're coming from, because with bodybuilding, you judge from here down.
Yeah.
The women's category, it's very clear that you do take the face, hair, and everything into consideration. It's within the criteria.
Yes.
But the baseline, we're talking genetics here. If somebody's got perfect shape, balance, and proportion, they're going to win against somebody who's got straight hips or no hips or too big a shoulder or short legs or a short torso. If they've got shape, balance, and proportion, and they've got, their makeup and hair done nice,
Okay.
they're going to win.
Okay, so tell me something. So the bikini Olympia class, yeah, the girl who won, did she deserve to win? Yes.
Where?
The bikini Olympia was just gone. The bikini one, the girl who won.
She was tiny, wasn't she?
Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't judge it, and it's really
no. I'm not saying you judge them. You watch it. The Olympia. No. Basically, what I'm saying is you've got the American style of physiques, yeah. Which you're going towards the Olympia, so you should be having that standard. So if girls are going to compete, they're going to compete at the elite level, looking at them type of physiques and thinking that's the look you need to go for. But the problem with the UK and the European scene is totally different compared to the American bikini girls.
It's the same with the men's physique as well, isn't it?
Yeah, the American bikini girls are softer, fuller. The European girls are harder, leaner, and lean. And I don't know, it's just not the right look. That's why most of the European girls.
Which look do you prefer?
The fuller look.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Looks healthier, didn't it?
I like a healthy look. I like the curves where you can tell that they've trained. I like to be able to see their shape, their back, not covered with hair. That's my personal preference. If I'm training in a gym and I'm training my back and my shoulders and my arms, I want to be able to display that V-tape.
Yeah, I think there's got to be some consistency with the posing. So when you're telling girls to pose certain ways, some of them are doing the teapot pose, some of them doing the normal pose. It needs to be one way of posing. And that's the problem with different federations. They've got different ways of posing just so they can stand out from each other. So this goes on.
As long as when they're on that stage and being judged, and this is what I've tried to explain to people, the reason it's called the comparison round is that you're all standing exactly the same. Exactly. And it used to be, if you remember back in the day, everybody had a black bikini. And then you were judged. And then it just suddenly got all this spangle and then metal bits on the side, and then they got smaller bikinis. And sometimes the smaller bikinis doesn't enhance somebody's physique because the smaller the bottoms, the longer the waist looks and the shorter the leg looks. So you've got to get the bikini, no matter how small it is, it can change your physique.
So this brings me on to your federation now. Yeah. So what is it called again?
Let's go back. So you were with UKBFF for like 11 years, Helen, 11, 12 years, if I remember.
Yeah.
And you've obviously seen the progression. You've seen the progression in the bikini class.
Yeah. And
obviously the men's physique. Yeah. So tell us about the new federation and the British Physique Alliance. So who are the people involved in?
Well, we've got Dennis Sugar Christopher, who I'm sure everybody knows because he's been in the sport for a very, very long time.
For the audience, Sugar was the vice president of the UKBFF, is that right?
That's correct, yeah, he was. He was partners with the president. So the president and the vice president had a limited company and there were 50-50 partners. And I know he's been around since EFBB times. So a very long time. So he's part of the new alliance. We've got Stevie Graham, who's the Northern Ireland promoter. Harry Ogg, who's the Scottish promoter. Nick Swan runs the Rhinos Classic. And there's myself. There's Francisco, who you know, Francisco Rocha. He's doing the beginner show. And we've had obviously requests from other people, but that's who the team is at the moment.
So why the new federation? Why not stick to the UKBFF? I mean, did you feel there was a need for a change?
It's not so much that it was a need for a change. That there was a oh, looks good, doesn't it? Oh, where to start? Well, obviously, it was a sad day to decide to leave because I'd been doing the judging and what have you there for a long time. But I think what a lot of people don't realize is that although I went to every show and I was a judge, I really enjoyed it. So that's why I went to every show. But some judges choose to go to 2 or 3 shows. Really just depends on, what you can volunteer. You're a volunteer, you go along, you spend a day, you do your judging. So I've done that for a very long time and pretty much just had my head down judging, and that was it. And then there was COVID that hit. So there was a break. And unfortunately, the president, Mr. Tierney, became ill and he wasn't able to go to any shows anyway. So he put Sugar in charge. So Sugar was pretty much acting as president. So we all went to the shows. We gave a commitment to go to every show to make sure they run smoothly and what have you. Now, if you bear in mind that the people at the head of the federation, it's a family, the Tierney family, Bill and Wanda, Carl and Lisa. And Bill and Wanda really were the hub of the organization. So they would deal with all the admin and everything, social media, you name it. We literally went along, judged, went to shows. So they dealt with everything else. Sugar, as I said, was made acting president. And he was a little bit more open to hearing criticism and critique. Because some people, when they're in charge, take a criticism or a critique as a personal insult. And other people take it as a way of thinking, right, maybe we can listen to this and make the changes and improve.
Yeah.
We were listening because we were getting emails, we were getting messages. And as I think we went along over the last couple of years, we were getting more and more messages.
How to make shows better, how to
how they felt about things, the competitors in particular. And these changes were obviously put to the head of the federation and they weren't taken seriously, shall we say.
Can I ask you, like, what kind of request, what kind of what?
Emails not being answered about shows and things like that. The big one was actually social media and marketing, believe it or not. Now,
yeah, look, I think that's the UKBFF's biggest downfall is social media or lack of social media.
This is what's come out over the last 2 years. So we were listening. Now, UKBFF do have, I don't want to bash UKBFF at all, by the way. They have, I'm just telling you exactly what happened.
No, you're not here to bash anybody. You're just here to tell the truth. And
that's what Zach's here for.
No, that's quite come on, otherwise, I would have just, not. But they have a UKBFF official Instagram page. Now, personally, I was never followed by it. That's somebody's choice. I think maybe it's wrong because I was a judge, a promoter, and an executive member. But if they didn't want to follow me, whatever. I was following it so I could see what was going on it. But
I think I got banned from it.
Nothing new there.
They made private.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyway, so obviously it didn't bother me that I wasn't being followed, but other people it obviously does. And competitors obviously weren't being followed. So we took that on board. And over about a 7-month period, Sugar said, can we use the Instagram page? Can we have the passwords? And we'll start running it until you get back onto the scene again. And it was like a flat no and excuses. And it went on and on and on. And eventually Sugar says, you know what we're going to do? We're going to just open our own one and we're going to see if it works. So Zeus opened the new UKBFF IFBB Instagram account, and he was following all the officials, judges, promoters, and obviously sponsors, because they weren't being followed either, and athletes. And he was reposting the athletes' stories. And 2 weeks in, people, even in my gym, said, "Oh, who's doing the new Instagram page? It's so friendly and so warm." And I was like, well, this is exactly what you want. That's the reaction. So how can they not see that that's a good thing? So Zeus carried on with it, and it just, just went on from there. But obviously it wasn't received very well. And we didn't want to run 2 Instagram accounts because that's stupid.
It's confusing, isn't it?
If the old one just took on what we were doing, it would have been fine, wouldn't it? So that was one big thing. And it's running really, really well. Because if you've got athletes or competitors, or you want competitors, you want to give them information, you want to give them the 30 seconds of fame, give them information, get back to them on the direct messages, etc., etc. So to me, that's a really good communication. So that was a massive thing. So you can imagine if that wasn't received very well, it had on our brains.
Helen, I think sometimes the problem what you can get is, the officials, you got competitors tagging officials, and I can understand that, and basically the officials will comment on somebody's picture and say, "Oh, you're looking good, looking amazing." And the problem is some other competitors will see that and they'll think, "Oh, that competitor is getting favoritism," and then you start getting this divide between certain competitors thinking, "Oh, don't want to compete in that show because that's that judge running that show, so these competitors are going to get a better look in." And I've seen that problem. But I think, if you are an official and you're a judge, I think unless if somebody wants what's in a critique on the physique, no problem, do it privately. But I think judges shouldn't go around commenting on people's pictures. Yeah, like them, do whatever you want, whatever like that. But it's just that certain people feel like certain people are more active on social media and they're tagging people, and then you start getting that, what's it?
It looks like favoritism, and I totally get that. I've learned that over the last quite a long time. It's a lesson you have to learn. You have to be impartial.
Sometimes you can't help it, though, can you? If you're a fan, you appreciate someone's physique.
The beauty of having Zeus doing the Instagram is totally impartial. Somebody tags, it gets posted, no matter who it is, where it's from, whatever. He's not a judge. He's not an official. He's running the Instagram account. Biased.
What's it? Showcasing the competitors and all that is great. That's great for the federation and great for the competitors. And that's what it should be about, the competitors showcasing, not about certain judges getting most followings and getting the most tags from competitors, because then people are going to think, "Oh yes, these judges, all these people." You got certain people what are going to brown nose all the judges and federation and tag them 50 million times a day, and people are going to be like, "Not that dickhead again."
I've got to be quite honest with this, because I used to get that quite a lot, and I feel really bad saying this, but I used to block people, because why do I want to see what somebody's having for their breakfast, lunch, and dinner? I didn't want to see it, so I don't follow people that I don't want to see. It's easy. You don't follow people that you don't want to see stuff. You don't have to repost things if you don't want to. I've got a page for the English Grand Prix because I'm a promoter for it. I've got my own personal page, which has got online coaching and, my gladiator stuff on it. It's got nothing to do with any federations.
That's fine, but I think
I learned that the hard way, because I didn't realize that when I first started. So it took me a little while to learn that. So I'll hands up on that one.
Yeah, the problem you've got is you'll get some judges will follow certain people, not other people, and the other people you don't follow, they're going to be like, "Oh, why? Why are they not following me? Why are they following that person?" But either you do all or nothing.
Yeah,
it's
a sport that it has a lot of paranoia about it, and I can totally get why people would feel that way. And all I can say is within the judging system that is being used, which we will follow, it's one of the fairest judging systems you can have, because you lose a good vote at the top and a bad vote. So say there's 7 people on a judging panel and you're somebody's favorite and you train in their gym and they put you first, but all the other 6 judges put you last. You lose the last place and you use the first, and it's the average of the 5. It's a fair, but I can totally get why somebody on stage would think, oh, well, that one trains at that one's gym, that one's done this. You cannot make them see that it's not possible to happen.
Yeah, that happened with a certain federation. I don't want to mention names, anything like you had a certain person going around and going backstage and tanning up people and pumping up with them and talking with them, and you can't be doing that. You can't be showing that favoritism. And the thing about it is, judging has to be transparent as much as possible, because, as you know, people when they're dieting, they're paranoid as fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the situation you got.
Well, the rule would be, on the way I look at it and the way I've always done it is, as soon as I put the blazer on and I'm at a show, somebody asks for advice, I'm sorry, I'm in a blazer. I can't. Everybody's got to have the same treatment. So if I've seen somebody in a blazer giving somebody advice, I'll go and speak about it, make a complaint, and that person would be spoken to. Shouldn't happen, especially not people going backstage. Definitely not.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it should be all the time. You shouldn't have the judges backstage having a natter with the competitors like their best friends.
Yeah, and I mean, I know people have their coaches backstage, and I'm of the opinion that the coach's job should be done before the person goes backstage, because again, the coach could be seen as trying to poach other clients, or seen as, oh, this is a big coach that everybody knows, so the judges are going to be influenced because the person's being, prepped by somebody, really famous. So I have, maybe my opinion isn't the same. I just try to be fair as much as possible.
I don't think there should be no coaches backstage. If people are saying, oh, they need somebody's help to turn up, there should be somebody there helping the athletes. If you're going to be a federation for the athletes, why should there be somebody on their own not getting any help with tanning and oiling themselves up? Yeah. As simple as that. Then there's no need for coaches. What do you think, Simon?
I mean, like the Olympia, you had Hanny Rambo that was backstage, you had George Farrell, all these top elite. Then you get obviously the judges that aren't so well known, they're not allowed backstage. So it depends who you are. But I think they should make one rule for one and keep it safe for everyone.
That's what it comes
just
down
because he's prepping Mr. Olympia doesn't mean
fairness.
It doesn't give the right. Yeah,
it's either everybody or nobody.
Yeah.
Now a lot of federations, certain federations, they charge for coaches to come backstage. So I know it's an extra income, but yeah, I don't think you should let them backstage. You can use your phones, and if you're not ready by the time you go backstage, then you're not ready. Nothing backstage can help you look better.
So.
Like when we were backstage, you just had competitors there most of the time. You know what I mean? Help you out, and
you help each other pump up anyway, don't you?
Yeah, if you had coaches and you had them before you went backstage, they'll say, this is what you need to do it. If there's any problem, now you've got mobile phones, you can FaceTime them, and you can be in contact non-stop. So there's
and they can come from backstage to the audience, can't they?
Yeah. So
Helen, so everyone else that's left the UKBFF, you sort of got together and decided the future of your new federation. So have you sat down and decided what classes, etc., you're having and how you're going to run the shows?
Yeah, well, I've just come off another Zoom meeting because obviously this is all new, it's all fresh. The end of the season for UKBFF was actually Nick Swan's show. So after that, we got together and I was
at the British. Was it October?
Was it? In the back row.
Yeah. How do you think, obviously, the last few years, when it was at Nottingham, when it was packed out theatre, sort of the decline, how did that feel, obviously, of the new federations appearing? How did what was the sort of
Well, when you
morale
have
around.
the love of bodybuilding, you want to see the best of the best. And I had that for such a long time, seeing the likes of you and Zach on stage. So when all of those disappeared, when the two bros came in, it was obviously disappointing and the shows were empty. But the love of the bodybuilding, it doesn't end with just the top guys. You know, you've got beginners coming through, you've got improvers, and you've got this duty. Well, I see it as a duty to give them the best of your ability as a judge. So whoever's on that stage, I'm there to judge. So yeah, obviously it would have been nicer to have more competitors. It would have been for the competitors on stage to have more competition. But that's just how it happened. You know.
Do you think the UKBFF, do you think they were stubborn or they were naive to the changes, what were happening? Because obviously these new federations, what came out, like PCA and FitX and, you know, Two Bros, there's a reason why they came out. Because obviously if UKBFF were doing what they're meant to be doing for the athletes, there wouldn't have been no need for these as a federation. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree to a point. Obviously, I've just highlighted one of the reasons, and it was the social media where they're dragging their heels.
Social media is a big thing, isn't it? Let's be honest, everyone's got social media.
This is it. And marketing is the other one. And I've seen so many small organizations that have got excellent marketing and they're reaching the people that they need to reach. And if somebody's in charge and they don't want to listen to this and they call it anti-social media, where do you start? I mean, where do you go with that?
Was it anti-Semitic?
Definitely get anti-social.
She wasn't allowed to say it.
If they've got no understanding of it, they're not going to be able to make.
But surely you can see, surely they can see the success of the other federations, how powerful and how important social media is.
Exactly, and still,
it's a no-brainer.
You know, 4 years after the split or 5 years after the split, and for 7 months we were sort of banging on the door, say, can we change this? Can we change that? And it was, if your answer is over my dead body, what are you going to do? It's a category no. And we could see the new one opening up and looking really good. And you can see from our posters and our different outlook that we have listened and we would like to make the changes.
Do you think you were hoping for changes to happen and you were just waiting and you've got to the point where I think all of you just got fed up?
It's pretty much that, as I say, for 7 months to be batting on the door saying, can we do this? Can we change this? And
what I mean is, Helen, let's forget about this last 7 months. Like the UKBFF, there was a time, you know, you weren't allowed to compete with any other federation, you know, and, you know, they weren't living up to the times. You can't say to people, you can't compete with this federation or that federation. You're not paying the athletes. The athletes should be allowed to compete with who they want and do as many shows they want, because some athletes just love competing. And
again, I'll reiterate what I said really early on. I was a judge. Eventually I was voted onto the executive, but with no real power. So suggestions from even people that are still within, still trying to fight to make them change. If it's impossible, if you say, look, I understand that rules are rules, but if someone gets an invitation to a European or a Worlds and you pay the fare, the hotel, the food, everything's all inclusive for a week, try and get some loyalty from that. But if somebody's just doing a one-off show or a two-off show, then go and try somewhere else. Because I've had people come to me and I've said, you know what, your physique and your personality might not suit this, but maybe why don't you try the WBFF or Miami Pro, because you're more modelly and you're more outgoing and more flamboyant. Well, to me, if you see somebody and you're posing them and you think, well, they're going to do better over there than here. So therefore they should be allowed to move about. So trust me, within, we did try, and there's people still within that will be trying that still.
But they did relax that rule last year,
It
didn't they?
did, but you know, after
too late.
too late.
Yeah.
It looked like an afterthought. It was, oh right, okay, well, we're not doing very well, so we'll do it. If they did it beforehand, it wouldn't have looked like an afterthought.
That's what I mean. Everything with them, it just happens so much later when they, and you know, it's sad. It's sad to really see a federation what I got my pro card with, and you know, at the height of the success, and it was we had Nottingham, you know what I mean, and all these shows were packed and everything, and it's like
had monopoly then, so
yeah, and the thing about it is like all federations there. I'm gonna say this straight away now. All federations say we're for the athletes, but you're not though, because if you were for the athletes, you wouldn't do it for free. You know what I mean? Because the thing about it, let's be honest there. I'd rather somebody be honest and listen, we want to give as much to athletes as possible, but obviously we're not going to do it for free. We want to make some money from it. It's a business and we want a bit of profit. But you know what? The more the federation does well, the more our athletes will do better because we can give them more. But you know when people come out with, oh yeah, we're for the athletes, we're for the athletes. Listen, you're not for the athletes. Or you're happy just selling loads of fucking tickets and making X amount on tanning, posing trunks, posing classes, everything else there. And you know, and all about the athletes. It's not about the athletes for half of these federations. I'll be honest with you, you know?
Yeah, well, I take your point. I totally take your point. But as a judge, you go along and you volunteer your time. It's not a paid thing. It is a volunteer. Doing the promotion of a show, you have overheads, as you know. I tapped you for sponsorship because I want to give the athletes the best trophies, best prizes. And I think you would all agree that the English Grand Prix has always done that.
No.
If the promoters don't make money, then they're not going to put on future shows, are they? So they've got to have that profit.
And the last few years, you know, I know Northern Ireland and Scotland definitely wouldn't have made any money. It would have cost them money. Yeah, and then it comes to a point, well, okay, I'm not going to promote anymore.
Yeah, Helen, the thing is, I'm not talking about the judges. Obviously, you have to give your time for free. We know that you get paid peanuts. It's a voluntary work. What I'm talking about is the federations themselves who tickets, who do all these things with the posing, and you know, you have to have official posing classes, you have to go to official tanning and all this crap what I'm talking about. The thing about it is most of them are making good money, but the thing about it is you don't see that coming back to the athletes. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And then you get penalized when certain athletes are using different tanning products. It shouldn't work that way.
No, I agree.
You know, because
what can I say? I totally agree with you.
It's expensive to compete. So let's make it cheapest as possible for the athletes to compete. And you know what? Obviously, you've got to make money. So you've got to have membership and you have got to have other options as well. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. You've got to pay your overheads at the end of the day, haven't you? So the membership, the registration fee, to pay for theatres, to pay for your
trophies, officials.
You did the British Grand Prix, didn't you?
God, I'm still paying for it now, 15 years later.
You know,
I remember going. We went to the. Me and Neil went to the. I remember me and Neil went to the venue, London XL, and the deposit was 30 grand just for the deposit.
Yeah.
To book I think it was 150 grand just for the hall. It was fucking crazy.
No, it was. I'll tell you, it was fantastic. But yeah,
but it was for you.
The balance in the books for something like that, just
Simon, is that off then? Did you break even?
No, we lost. We lost about 150 grand.
Wow.
Do you know what? It was. We overpaid for everything because with the going off topic, because we put 80 grand prize money up for the pros.
Wow.
We had obviously to get Brandswar and all the big names. We didn't. You had to put a decent amount of money. We had to pay for the hotels, flights, pay for all the judges, the venue, everything. It was just, and the venue wasn't cheap. We were talking London XL, like 3 days.
Yeah, that's mental, mate. But you know what? Well done to you for trying anyway. You know, and Yeah, bro, it is. So, Helen, that comes to you now. So, your federation, how is it different from all the other federations? And be honest. Don't need to lie.
Well, be honest, don't lie. Well, as I said, we've taken some feedback, and we want
feedback.
The feedback is that people want to be talked to. They want their voices heard. They want to have some display on the social media, but they want fair judging, and they want to be around people that are pleasant, that are there for them, that have been there, done it, seen it, walked the walk.
People that are approachable, that you can talk to.
A lot are approachable is a big thing, isn't it? As you know.
Yeah. No. Like I said, it sounds good, and basically, you sound like
it's early days, so I can't say what we're going to do, what we're not going to do. All I can say,
I think you'll learn every show, every season.
We've talked about some rules and criteria and categories tonight. We're going to put an over 60s bodybuilder in because, believe it or not, there's a lot of call for that.
Nearly there.
We've heard. We've listened to the body fit girls saying we don't know what body fit and figure is, and they like to put their hands in the air and show their biceps. So we're going to put that in. And the men's physique want to do the same. They started with the hands in the air, open hands, and doing a little abs pose. So we're going to put that in. As I say, if that showcases their physique better and they feel more comfortable, we'll listen to it and put it in.
So basically, it's going to be a hybrid federation.
We'll have to do a wheelchair one, which we will.
Because when I went to the UKBFF to watch the men's physique posing, I mean, the men's physique, they didn't really get a chance to pose. It's literally the quarter turns, and they weren't allowed to do.
Yeah. Well, the other thing we've discussed as well is because we see that the men's physique and bikini get to do the eye walk, and I don't know why, but they think it's really fast. So they get everybody to do the eye walks, but the bodybuilders, they'll only get the top 3 to do it. So we've said, look, bodybuilder, I mean, we had some people come from the Northeast to the English Grand Prix, and there was 8 guys on stage. 3 of them got to do their posing routines. Now, they all went through the same sort of prep, the same, everything. So I've said, well, as a suggestion, why don't we get them all to do their posing routine first? They'll have the minute posing routine. They'll feel more at ease. They'll have done that free pose, and then we can do the comparisons and compulsories. So that's another thing we've listened to that we're going to put in. As I say,
similar to what PCA do.
We can't make all the changes that everybody wants because there's going to be individuals.
The problem is,
if we take it to a vote, then we can decide.
I think you've only got so much time as well, so you have to do what you can with so much time. But I would suggest something for health reasons is get the men's bodybuilding out of the way first, because there will be water depletion.
You see, that used to be the pinnacle of that was the finale. But I'll listen to this. Yeah,
but I'm thinking with the health reasons, when they're waiting all day just to be the finals on the class, it's dangerous. You know what I mean? And I think now the more pinnacle of the sport is the men's physique and the girls' bikinis, so they can be at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, with water loading and all that.
So, Helen, do you think there's like room for another federation in the UK? Because there's probably 6 federations now.
The thing is, with people being able to compete everywhere and anywhere, I've got people in my gym that, I mean, there was a guy came to the English Grand Prix, messaged me at 12 o'clock at night and 3 o'clock again in the morning. And I was only answering because obviously I was like hyped because my show was the next day, so I didn't sleep. He said, if I come along, can I have an early registration? And I'm like, what do you mean? And it's 9 o'clock. I can't have favoritism. If you're there first and you're in the queue at 9 o'clock, you can come in and get weighed, and then you can go away, which seems reasonable. But that guy did 3 shows that weekend.
Oh, wow.
Wasn't Shiraz, was it?
No, Daniel Smith Jr.?
Oh,
Okay.
Daniel, yeah.
Unbelievable. I mean, he competed every weekend, and he was going all over the world, and like,
Daniel,
Wow.
phenomenal.
He did our show as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he was able to go all over the place, and he got trophies everywhere he went. So,
when was it? Was that summertime? Was it? When was that? Because I seen him compete. I seen him compete in June for the Derby show. Full he was shredded, and as the show's got on, he got worse and worse.
oh right,
He started smoothing out. Yeah, I think he
you
peaked
can't
right at
hold
the beginning.
condition too long, but he did mine in September the 10th.
Okay, so been dieting for like 6 months.
Yeah.
So what the classes involved in, Helen? Can you talk to us? Have you decided what classes you're having?
Well, as I've said, we're going to be doing the bikini, the men's physique with a slight alteration of the poses. We'll be keeping the muscular men's physique in. All the bodybuilding, the usual categories of bodybuilding.
Will it be height or weight class?
Yeah.
Which one? Height?
Weight, yeah.
Yeah, weight class.
We're going to be having, obviously, the classic physique. As I say, we're going to put an over 60 in. There was talk about putting an over 45 bikini in. There seems to be a lot more masters around competing. So if there's the numbers and there's the request, as I said, we'll listen and put it in.
I think that you should just have 2 bodybuilding classes, just like the Olympia, under and over 212, simple.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well,
if they're going to be competitive in them classes, they'll be competitive as a pro.
Yeah, but you got first timers, you got juniors, novices.
No, as well. I'm talking about also.
For the weight classes, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose you could, but I think you get a lot of people saying, and I've explained to people before, if you've got an under 70s, under 80s, under 90s, and the guy is coming to do classic, and then he said, "Oh, I'm overweight and I've got to do the under 80s or under 90s. I'm not going to be competitive." And I'll say to them, you will be if you're in good shape.
Yeah.
Because and invariably they've gone in and won, but they're just in their mind, they can't do it. So I think initially we'll keep the weight classes, but obviously it depends who shows up at the show on that particular day.
I just
so
think
you take the weight, you look at it, and then you have to explain to them what's happening. You can't just let them come on stage and say, we're putting 2 classes together. You've got to give them an idea backstage what's happening. But until they turn up and register and you've got the weight, you can't play about with the classes either.
Will once you've had the class winners and whatnot, and will they come back out at the end of the show and do it for an overall with the men's classes as well as the women? Because that's always good and entertaining for the audience as well.
Everybody I've spoken to. I've got a girl at the gym, Ankita, and she did a GPO, I think it was called. And she said afterwards they came out and it was like the overall female. Yeah. And it just made them feel good. So I said, let's have a look at that.
Yeah.
As I say, we'll take it on board. We'll not be able to do everything.
No.
But if we're listening, we're more likely to please the majority, and that's what we're there for, isn't it?
I think you'll know once it's running a couple of shows. First year, you'll see what type of people are competing with you.
Yeah.
And you'll see, from there you can make up your own mind. You know what I mean? And what feedback you get.
I think the main thing, as I say, for us is that we felt like, well, if somebody's not listening and the people are talking, let's go and listen to what they're saying and let's make the changes and let's see if we can do something. It may not work. Who knows?
Yep.
Obviously we'll do our best to make it work. What individual promoters had just so happened was said, oh gosh, we all think the same thing, that we came together. Because Sugar was the first one. He said to me, I can leave and I can still run a show, can't I? And it was like, light bulb, or can I? And I think other people thought the same. But when Sugar said it was like, because he's been my mentor since the start.
Yeah. I was quite surprised when Sugar told him.
He's very level-headed. He's very even. He's very fair.
I'm more shocked about Sugar leaving, because for him to leave, I know things must not have been good. So because you would never have left,
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
and that is the sentiment of most people. It was individuals leaving here and there, but Sugar being a partner and being around it for so long.
Yeah, exactly.
But he was so frustrated because he was hearing it firsthand, and it wasn't. Why am I telling you something and you're not going to change it? And as I said, somebody told me today they've made it a private account, and I think, well, how's that going to help?
Yeah.
I don't understand. Maybe I'm not a social media person, but I can't see how that's a positive thing.
Especially if you're a business, you need to be.
Yeah.
I think the problem they've got is they're on the back foot and they're pedaling back, and they don't want to hear nothing negative, and they don't want to see nothing negative, and that's why they've got it private, so they can basically look at everybody's comment and yeah. And
the only way you're going to grow is by taking on board people's comments and feedback.
I just think
any business can only, if I've got people coming into my gym saying, I want this and I want that, and can you fix that? And you don't do it, they're going to walk to the next gym that does.
The main thing I think is, though, the main take home is you've got a group of people who've been experienced in the industry for a long time who are still passionate about the sport. And that will reflect in the quality of the show production and the kind of people that are competing with you, because you'll get to know them on a personal level, but keep it professional at the same time, which is good for everybody. So,
well, Nick's just literally finished. He was a late start at competitions, but he's just won an Arnold and World Championships quite recently. So he's like buzzing about everything, and he's very well liked. Francisco, the same, a national champion, British champion, what have you, coming out of that. So relatable people. Yeah, it was a long time since I've competed, but I have been around it, and I'm still interested in it. Stevie Graham again, he won the Amateur Olympias, the Simon Show. He won that, and he's been to European Championships. Harry Ogg has been a European champion. So I had a guy today at the gym that won the British, asked if he could come and judge for us. I'll not mention his name just in case. But yeah, people are messaging saying they would like to be involved. And it's like, please tell us about your categories, please. So tonight we're doing some frequently asked questions, doing the answers for them to get them up there as quick as possible. We've just finished the meeting with all of the.
I'll tell you what's a good thing to do, like live Instagrams and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, I was going to say do live feeds on your Instagram page, Facebook. You can talk about it. People can drop in, and you can see everybody asking questions and answer the questions. So what you do is just say like, next week, Monday or Tuesday, there will be a live, feed from the February.
I was thinking of doing that because they've made me the women's rep, and the girls are always asking different questions, whether it's just to be about, the heels or the platforms of the shoes or style of bikini or whatever it happens to be. So yeah, Steve's the bodybuilding rep and I'm the women's rep, so we can do something like that. We were going to do some free posing workshops as well for the members. So. And we've got some T-shirts to give away for the inaugural members, the people that joined straight up. So we're going to make them exclusive. There's some ideas there, but we've got to do the work now that we've decided what we're doing. Now we've got to keep going, haven't we?
No, it sounds great, and I wish you all the best luck with it.
Thanks very much, and you obviously you'll be more than welcome to come along and see what's.
We'll come down. When's your show, Helen?
September the 3rd, and it's going to be at the Beck Theatre. Yeah.
So obviously the UKBFF is still affiliated with the IFBB.
Yeah.
So is that going to continue with them, or do you think you will have any sort of relationship with the IFBB? Is it something you're planning on doing?
I would love to, but I don't know if that's a feasible option or not. So I couldn't say yes or no to that at the moment, but it would be very nice. I won't lie about that. It would be very nice to have that affiliation.
Yeah, one thing is with some of the independent shows, though, such as like FitX, they're technically an independent show, right? They have the supplement side of things going with them. So they have that to offer for class winners or overall winners, where they might get 6 months free sponsorship with one of the sponsored companies or whatnot, or whether it's like a trunk supplier or tanner for the shows and things, because obviously people appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And,
I've been really fortunate. Like, as I said, I tapped Zach for the last show to sponsor it. And he says, "Oh, I didn't know you wanted money. I thought you just wanted tub support." I want money as well. So I've been really lucky.
Did you give me your gyro, Zach?
I had to nag him week after week for the money, mind you, but I got it. No, that honestly, because I was able to put that in, and the sponsors for the English Grand Prix have always been very, very good.
But you know what? I gotta say something. Even though you sponsor shows and stuff, these athletes say, "Oh, we never get good prizes and everything." Yeah, I'll give some good prizes. I give full outfits out. And
yes.
Not even one arsehole tagged me on them.
No way.
You know why, Zach? Because every account you've had has been blocked.
My closing accounts never been blocked, and not even one person has tagged me on any of the freebies I give away to competitors. I thought, you know what?
You were asked. Definitely. I always say because I usually MC the show.
No, I'm telling you.
I always ask them. How ungrateful.
I didn't get nobody tagging me on it. I think I was expecting, they're going to be wearing the clothing, taking pictures, because that's what girls do.
Into your DMs.
And then
he sponsored the wellness class, by the way.
So surprise.
So if you are competitors and you're getting freebies from these supplement companies and you don't tag them, and you know what? You're ungrateful. CUNTS.
And the thing is that's a lack of education, isn't it? Because it's normal if somebody gives you something to say thank you.
Yeah. But the problem is a lot
of entitlement. It's nice because I was, on my Instagram for English Grand Prix, I'll push up about the sponsors all the time and thank. Because it's really important. So they could take the lead from that, I suppose.
Well, they need to because
absolutely.
They've got a sense of entitlement, these new competitors now. You know what I mean? They all think there's some big time influencers with their 2 followers. You know what I mean? Showing their most unmotivated workouts.
Yeah, I should have a free membership because don't you know who I am?
So let's go back through the calendar. So the first show of the year. What is it? It's
April. The Scottish Grand Prix, which is Harryog, and that's the 30th of April.
Then it's the Northern Ireland Grand Prix.
Yeah, 21st of May in Belfast.
25th of June. That's San Francisco's
Rising Stars. So that's the beginners. And what we're going to do there, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, we have a lot of masters inquiring. So we're going to make that a beginners and a separate master show. So
when you say beginners, is that first timers?
Yeah,
first time on stage.
Well, first time with your federation or first time
on stage?
On stage, yeah. So
first time. You need to make that rule.
Fair, because the way I say it is if you're doing your first show and you're nervous, no matter how much practice of posing you've done and all the rest of it, you're going to get on stage and you are going to be nervous. We see people shaking. So we're on there with people at the same level. So that makes it fair.
Yeah, first time as ever,
Yeah.
Midland Championships, 16th of July, Where's that? Is that Briley Hill, is it?
Yeah, that's a new venue for us.
That's where they have that's what they...
He went and scooted around and he looked at different venues and he went there and so he picked that one. So Amjad will say thank you to him for that one.
English Grand Prix, that's your show. Beck Theatre, is it?
Beck Theatre, yeah.
Yeah. Zach, have you ever competed there? I've done the Stars of Tomorrow. That's where they used to have that, isn't it?
Yeah. I think I've been to it, but I haven't competed there.
Yeah, it's a good venue.
You came to present prizes at the very first English Grand Prix, which was an invitational at Brunel University.
Yeah, so I don't think I've been to Beck Theatre then. No,
you haven't.
Ryanair Classic.
First time the English Grand Prix has been there, to be honest.
Okay.
Ryanair said that's can't see the date in there. So is that September?
It's October the 15th, and that's in Stamford. That's Nick Swan's show.
Yeah, and the British Championships. That's what's the date in that? I can't see it. So it's been cut off.
Is it the 22nd of October?
Okay, so a couple of weeks after.
Looks like a nice calendar. So some nice shows going on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a big improvement from the previous federation, shall we say?
Yeah.
And the Sugars Classic, is that Leicester, is it?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's in Bilston, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's November, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah, as I say,
yeah.
we've had other people ask to do shows, but we've got to start with what we know, not take too many risks, and see how it goes.
I think 8 shows is a good number to have this year.
I think
I
so.
think if you have too many, you're gonna dilute the shows as well.
Yep.
We want a decent number at the British finals if we can. What we can say as well is Nick wants to honour anybody who was invited from his show, because it was actually after the British, it was the first show of the year. He wants to honour that invite if they want to come to our British. If they want to stay with UKBFF, that's absolutely fine. That's anybody's prerogative to do exactly what they want.
They can do both, can't they?
Yeah.
And in my eyes, they can.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Simon.
Yeah. So how can people get in contact with you, Helen, if they want to obviously compete in the federation, if they want more details?
They can go to the BPA website.
Yeah. I'll put all the links in the box below.
Inquiries, yeah. So click on the inquiries there, or send a direct message. Zeus will answer it on the Instagram. We will all have our own email addresses, I think, in about 5 days. As I say, it's all fresh. So the bank account had to be open, had to be linked with the website. We had to put the joining thing on. We've got links for the registration that has to come to each promoter. There's a lot that has to be done, and it's being done in a really short space.
I remember paying cash at the registration. Remember that, Zach? Paying cash at the going to the theatre, paying cash.
Yeah.
Say that again.
The good old days.
When we had to pay cash and bring tapes in to play the music.
No, I mean, you can join everything online. I mean, it'll be easy. There'll be links. It'll be easy to do. And as you say, we'll try and do stuff like registration live so that they can see where they should go and what they should be doing, etc., etc.
I think another idea is about the registration for competitors. I think you should do them like a couple of hours before each class or something, instead of them having to be there all morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon when they get on stage.
I understand that, but the logistics is not really good. I mean, what you should do, I'll invite you to one of the shows to be at registration.
What you do,
and if you can spot something that we can do better, we will listen to you.
No, what you do is you just have 2 people there to register people, and they come an hour before they're going to compete. Simple.
Yeah, but you've got to get the music to the music man. You've got to.
Oh, you get the music before done. You get them to email you the music. So
a lot of federation, they use the emails.
So what if they don't make the weight for that class? But remember, and also you've got to get.
Yes, you don't need the weight.
Get all of your lists to backstage, to the MC, to the statistician, to the reporter, to the music man.
You know what class is it now? What's that natural bodybuilding class?
What's the Fed?
BMBF.
Yeah, basically all the competitors there, the list is done beforehand. They have a week before the show to get the music in, to register, everything before then.
Well, I mean, if that's doable, we'll definitely look at it.
Well, you need to ask them. Speak to Sam Cullingworth.
It's who?
Speak to Sam Cullingworth. He's the music man for their federation.
Right, you are. I shall. I saw his name pop up somewhere today.
Sorry?
I saw his name pop up somewhere today on.
Was it Judge Zach?
Yeah, he does the music for the Natural Federation, and I have to email him the music and the register beforehand and everything, so he knows exactly whether it's going to be on stage, off stage. They has to do them beforehand.
No, sounds good. Anything to make it easier for the competitors, because on the day they forget everything. They come in and say, I mean, music's in the car. I've got it on my phone. So if it makes it easy, and obviously it would be easier.
What's a good thing to have backstage, like good mirrors in a nice pump-up area.
Yeah, writing this all down.
Good.
How many times have you been backstage? There's been no mirror, Zach.
Okay, loads of times. I can only see. I can see only somebody's ass crack bending over.
That's probably mine.
Oh dear.
I've even seen girls like tying themselves up and putting the G-string to one side. Fucking hell. Looks like a dog's having a wee.
Dear me.
Okay, well,
It disintegrates to this level at the end.
I've seen him like that. With Lego.
Oh, no.
Well, best of luck, Helen.
Thank you very
We'll be
much
keeping an eye on.
for giving me a bit of a platform to
Yeah,
talk. I really appreciate it.
No, that was
And
good.
the team obviously do as well.
Yeah, I spoke to Zach
We
before.
want one of them to come on at some point. That will once we get into.
Definitely, yeah. When you're sort of on a roll and you've done a few shows, we'll get you back on. And
Yeah.
we obviously help you promote any of your shows. And so if there's any competitors starting out this year, give the BPA a go. Speak to Helen or Sugar or Nick, any of the officials, message them, tell them you watched our podcast and they will look after you. Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Put a link up on my page to this when it comes available.
Yes, I'll have this done by.
And Helen will give you her gladiator's outfit.
You're obsessed, Zach.
If you register with the federation tonight at 12:00, she will throw in that federation that outfit for free.
Why didn't I employ him to do me marketing?
I should have. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a wrap. Thanks everyone for coming on tonight. Yeah, best of luck, Helen, and we will have you back on soon.
Thank you very much indeed. Thanks, guys.
Good luck.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so thanks for watching the podcast, and let's give the BPA lots of support and best of luck to all the competitors, the officials for this year. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next podcast. Have a good night.